everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we're making this fabulous On the Fringe cushion. This pillow is so much fun to make. We are using a great eclectic amount of stitches to make this beautiful design. First off, we're making two panels, the front and back panel of the pillow in slip stitches. This looks knit, you guys, but this is completely crocheted. Also, we are learning new stitches by doing reverse single crochet around the edge of our pillow here. These are reverse single crochets. And then we are working with foundation single crochets, making these cute little buntings here. And these buntings are made with cluster stitches. So again, a big eclectic amount of stitches. They're very simple, and I walk you through every single step of making this fabulous cushion. So I'll get into some supplies we need, I'll answer some frequently asked questions, and then we'll get into making this piece. So the supplies we need, voila, the yarn. We are using for our main color, this yarn is called Red Heart with Love, and my main color is white metallic. As you can see here, the color white. You can use any yarn you want for this, any worsted weight, double knitting, or Aran yarn. This piece goes off of measurements, so that's a great thing about this project. And this yarn, I love it so much. A, it's so soft, and B, it is sparkly. Very festive for the holiday season, so you can see all those cute little sparkles in there. Awesome. So for the white, the main color, I used 350 yards of this, okay? So these come in 200-yard balls of yarn. I bought two of the yards of yarn balls or whatever, and I have this much left over. So this is about 100 yards, I guess. Left over, maybe 50 yards left over. So that is, I used about 350 yards. Again, if you're making your pillow bigger or smaller, you'll need more or less yarn. It's just, again, off of measurements. So this is the main color. The two other colors I'm using, I'm using less than 20 yards of these together. So 10 yards and 10 yards, like very small amounts of these two colors. This is Red Heart with Love premium yarn. This comes in a 370-yard ball of yarn. It's a worsted weight yarn. It's very soft. With Love is just so soft. But again, you're not going to need a whole lot of this one. And this red color is actually called Holly Berry. So very festive, of course. And then this other green color that we are using, again, same amount. Very, very little bit of this one. This is Red Heart with Love. Again, this one comes in 370-yard balls. And this one is called Evergreen. Very festive. This pillow is just so much fun. I can't wait to get started on this and work with it. It is awesome, and share it with you. Then the size hooks we're going to need. Yes, I said hooks as in plural. We are going to need 2 hooks. For the main part, using this white yarn, we are going to be using a 12mm hook. You can use any extra large hook that you may have. I'm using this Bates hook. This is very large, a very large hook, and not sure I ever took it. Nate got me this for Christmas last year. But you can use a lazy hook, a bigger hook, a 10mm hook, or if you have a 12mm, that would be great. Just a really large hook for the main part using your slip stitches, because with slip stitching, it's going to be very easy for you to use a larger hook just so you can get through the stitch, because those stitches do not stretch, and you will see what I mean when we get there. Also, for the bunting part, making the puff balls with using the red and the green yarns, we are using an eye hook, which is 5.5mm. Also, with attaching the front and back panels of our piece with using these reverse single crochets around here, we use the eye hook for that as well. So you're going to need that small hook to attach the two pieces as well. And then you're going to need a yarn needle and a scissors to cut your yarn and sew in your ends and sew on these bunting pieces, because these little puffball pieces, we sew those on as well. So those tools will come in handy. So now for the frequently asked question of measurements. Okay, so yes, you can make this out of any size pillow. Here's the packaging I have of my pillow. I used this, I got this at the craft shop. I don't know if you can see the information. Soft and crafty, from the makers of Polyfill. Basic, firm. This is this pillow, 14 by 14 inches, which is 36 centimeters by 36 centimeters. Okay, and this fits any 13 or 14 inch pillow cover. And yeah, that's all the information on this pillowcase, or pillow form here. This is just a pillow form. So this is the packaging it came in, and then obviously there's a pillow inside of this crocheted piece. So you're going to need a pillow. Mine is 14 inches. You can use, like I said though, any size pillow. If you have a 12-inch pillow, an 8-inch pillow, or want to make a really big one, a 16-inch pillow, you can make as big of a pillow as you want with this. And if it's not square, you can make it, you know, long ways. If you have a oblong rectangular pillow, or if you have a round pillow, like a cylinder style pillow, you can make this in any type of pillow style. This is very versatile, so that's exciting. Also, this slip stitching is very stretchy, so when we make this, we're making this 14 inches across. Our beginning chain is as wide as our pillow, okay? But when we slip stitch all the way up, it is going to turn rectangular. It is going to look more skinny and long like this. Okay, because this part stretches like crazy, and you want it to be more squished together to give that knit look, because if it was stretched out like this, you could see the pillow through the stitches, so you don't want that to happen. So we want it to look really nice and fancy and classy and clean. So that's that. Then, let me measure this. These pieces also are, yeah, 36. Yep, that's right, 14 inches. You can see that right there, 14. So we're making these pieces also 14 inches across. So those are the sizing information. All of this information for the supplies we're going to need, that yarn, and also any frequently asked questions that I get, you know, what size hook. If you can use a different size hook, you can totally use any size hook you want. But I will have the written pattern for this on my website, and in the notes section on my website, on the page for this pattern, you will see those frequently asked questions and all the materials you're going to need and the special stitches we are using, and you can follow along with the written pattern. And if you're unfamiliar with how to read patterns, you can easily follow along with this video tutorial and the written pattern and learn very easily what I am talking about with the stitch counts and stitch names and all that lingo. So, before we begin, I have to mention there are links in the description of this video, especially if you're watching it on YouTube. There's a link to the written pattern, like I said. There's a link to my Facebook and Instagram. I would absolutely love it if you made this. Share your photos online and hashtag YARNutopia so I can see your wonderful pillows. And then also, I have to say a big thank you to my dad, Fuad, Azmat, for taking the time to make this video with us. He's our videographer, editor, and photographer for all of our videos. So make sure you check out my other videos, subscribe to my channel. There's a red subscribe button somewhere by my username down here, and then also in the corner of this video, way at the top right corner over here, there is a little letter I. You can click the letter I and support YARNutopia so we can keep bringing you these wonderful crochet tutorials into the new year. So let's now get started on this On the Fringe cushion. Alright, we want to start out with our bigger hook. I have the 12mm. If you have only a 10mm, that's totally fine. And we are going to start with our main color, our background color of our pillow. We're going to make a slip knot. So put your short end over the long end, then fold that down over the long end, and pull your long end through that loop. Pull tight, and then insert your hook into that loop, and we can start. So now I'm going to chain 31. That will get me across the pillow. You can chain any amount that will measure across your pillow. So yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over and pull through 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I won't make you watch me do all 30. Or 31 chains. So just, you know, chain any number, and then that's measuring to the size of your pillow, and then I will meet you up at that point. Alright, so I know I said that you should chain something that will measure your pillow, but actually measure 6 more inches than your pillow, just to have extra space, especially if you crochet tightly and crochet tight slip stitches. So you can see my pillow here, and I'm going to measure this across here so you can see that it kind of wraps around the edges a little bit. Just like that. So if you lay your pillow down flat and put your chain over your pillow, let it come down on each side to touch the tabletop or wherever you're crocheting. If you're setting this on a table, just put this on here and measure it, and then it should touch on the side here down to the tabletop here. So that's how much you should measure. If you're measuring, if you're using the 14-inch pillow like me, then just chain the 31 with your 12mm hook and you're good to go. But some people don't have the 12mm hook, and some people are using different yarn and this and that. So I just wanted to let you know about measurements. So now that we chained 31, the loop on the hook doesn't count as a chain. So we're going to skip the first chain right here. Can't really tell that that's a chain, but it is, I promise. So we're going to skip this first one, and we are going to slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. Now your slip stitches in this project have to be very loose. So we're just going to go in, yarn over and pull through, and pull through. Okay, don't pull tight at all. Okay, then we're just going to slip stitch across this chain. So go into this next chain, yarn over and pull through, and then pull through. Okay, when we slip stitch in this chain, it will, shrink its size a little bit, especially if you slip stitch a little bit tighter. But don't try your best not to, slip stitch tight. You just want to slip stitch very loosely. Okay, just like this. Okay, so just go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, or don't yarn over, just keep pulling through. So go into this chain, yarn over, pull through, and pull through for a slip stitch. So we're slip stitching across here. This whole project is basically all just slip stitches. So we're just slip stitching across. It'll give a really, really cool effect. So I'm just going to continue doing this all the way across the chain, and then I'll meet you up for row 2. Alright, on my last chain here, I'm just slip stitching, and then we can go on to row 2. So this is what your piece should look like, okay? And if you want to grab your pillow again, you'll see that it did kind of shrink a little bit. If you set this on your pillow, you can see that it goes from seam all the way across to the other seam without, it doesn't come down onto the table at all now. So it did kind of shrink for me. I hope it does the same thing for you. So now going on to row 2, actually row 2 through 75 are exactly the same. So we're gonna chain up 1, turn our work, okay? And now you can see here what your work should look like is like this. We are going to turn this kind of toward us so you can actually see the stitches. Okay, so this is a stitch right here. This is our first stitch. So we're going to slip stitch into there. So go underneath both of those loops. Okay, this top 2, just like that. Then yarn over with your hook, or with your yarn, like that. And then pull through and pull through for a slip stitch. We're slip stitching across. This is for row 2 through 75, or however long you need to. So go into this next stitch right here, go in, yarn over, pull through, and pull through, but do not pull tight. Okay, this is crucial in the whole project. So you can see here is our next stitch. You're going to need to use your fingers quite a bit to kind of get that opened up, just like that. Then yarn over and pull through and through. So this project is not difficult. It's almost mindless. You should have 30 stitches across for every row, 30 slip stitches, and it is kind of mindless, meaning that you don't have to really count a whole lot. Just make sure you have 30 on each row, and you're just going into the next stitch, and then yarn over, pull through, and pull through. And I like to use my other fingers just to grab the stitch on the top here, kind of stretch it out because slip stitches don't really stretch all that much. So go in, then yarn over and pull through and through. Okay, and then the next stitch is right here. You really have to like look at it. Here's a stitch, here's a stitch, here's a stitch. And you can see that I'm turning it toward me, kind of looking at the back of my work, because if you look at it like this kind of looks like a stitch going under this loop and that loop. That kind of looks like a stitch, but it's not actually. It's this stitch, these two loops right here. So you'll have to really look at your work to make sure that you're going into the right slip stitch to make your next slip stitch. So just continue working that all the way across, and then, you know, when you finish row 2, literally if you want to just rewind this to see what I did for row 2, just chain up 1, turn your work, and slip stitch into each stitch across, and it's that simple. It is going to be tedious, and it is going to take you a long time because slip stitches have no height to them, like whatsoever. So it's going to take you quite a long time to make this, but it is worth it in the end. And I'm going to do this, like I said, for rows 2 through 75, just slip stitch in each stitch across, and then chain 1, turn the work, and go on to the next row. And when I finish row 75, I'm going to meet you back up and I'll show you what to do next. Alright, welcome back. That took a little while, but when you're ready to fasten off, when you finish row 75, just chain 1 and we're going to cut our yarn. So we can just cut it short and then pull that all the way through and pull it tight. Okay, and that is one side of our pillow. So you can see that this is what it looks like. So now you can see that my edges are kind of janky, and that's totally okay, but we're going to, because we're going to be sewing that up or whatnot. So this is what it should look like. Like I said, though, you should have 30 stitches on each row, 30 slip stitches. You can see that it doesn't stretch so much this way, but it definitely stretches this way. And look at that. It looks like it's knit. And we just crocheted that, so how fabulous is that? So you can flip it to each side, see which side you like better, stretch it out. You know, mine looks like a rectangle. If you, zoom out and see that it looks a bit more like a rectangle, but that's because this is going to be stretched to the sides of my pillow, and then this will kind of shrink down and it's going to be square. So you can, if you need to do more rows or less rows, you can see here that it will fit on my pillow. We're just going to stretch this down, and then it's going to have more of a stretch tight fit look like that, okay, on each side. And we are going to make another panel just like this, and then we are going to crochet them together, making a nice little border. So what I need you to do is kind of just rewind this whole thing, make an exact piece just like this for the other side of your pillow. And when I did, actually, I made my first piece, and I didn't really like how it turned out. It just kind of has like little imperfections, so I figured this is going to be the back of my pillow. And my second panel actually turned out much better, and it's fabulous, and it's a little easier to see. So obviously I have mine done off camera, so when you make 2 of these, just come back to this video and we can go on to the next step, okay? So I have mine both done. I did them both off camera, so you can see here, these are my both pieces, and the one that looks better, more pleasing to the eye, will be the front of our pillow. So you can decide which one and which side. It doesn't matter which side of the panel you like better or whatever, so just choose that. And then once you've chosen that, we are going to set these 2 on top of each other. Okay, just like that. And then what we're going to do is actually we're going to start on a side panel. Okay, so not where there's rows, because we did rows like this. We're going to turn it to the side so you can see our rows are going vertically like this, and we're going to start in this corner. Okay, and we are going to basically just attach these doing a single crochet. Okay, I guess you can start wherever you want, but I'm just going to start so that I can slide my pillow in from the side. Okay, so we're going to start in this corner right here. Okay, I'm going to do a reverse single crochet, and you can use the same hook, or actually no, I'm going to use my smaller hook. You can use any size hook you want. I'm going to use my eye hook for this part, okay? So this is my eye 5.5mm hook, and we're going to start in the corner here. So in one slip stitch on this one, and then one slip stitch on this one. Again, you can start with, and you can use any hook for this part. I'm using the eye hook. We're going to hook on our yarn, pull that through, and then chain up one. If you want to, you can do a regular single crochet around this whole piece, doing it going that way. But we're actually going to work reverse. We're going to do a reverse single crochet. So we're going to go into this stitch that we just attached to, go in, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, that's a single crochet. Now what we're going to do, and I hope you can see this, we are going to go reverse single crochet. So we are going to go into the stitch to the right, okay, and if you can see it right here, we're going into that stitch and then into the next stitch on this piece too, okay, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through, okay, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. That is a reverse single crochet. So again, go into the next stitch on the right side of your work and into this next stitch, so both layers, this layer and this layer, then yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, you can see it has the more of like a roll look to it. It just looks very classy and clean, a clean edge. So again, we're going to go down, going facing downward. We're going into the next stitch and the next stitch on this panel. So this panel and this panel. Then yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, oops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, so the next stitch. So we're just basically sewing this together, but we're doing a reverse single crochet attachment. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So it's basically a single crochet stitch. We're just working the opposite way. So going in and in, then yarn over, pull through, and yarn over and pull through 2. And it's great to challenge yourself into, you know, trying something new. If you've never tried a reverse single crochet before, this is great practice. And, you know, if it doesn't work out for you, you can easily do a regular single crochet round, and it will still look very fabulous. So good luck. I will do this all the way around, okay? There's no really special instructions other than just single crocheting, you know, reverse, obviously, reverse single crochet all the way around, except when you get to your last side. So do 3 sides, and then when you get to your last side, we're going to put the pillow in, and then we're going to, well, I don't know if we'll put the pillow in actually. I think we're going to add embellishments first, and then when we're ready to put the pillow in, we will sew this closed at that point. But we do have to embellish this, but I'm going to attach these 2 pieces first. I'm so excited to get this all finished. So let's attach these by doing a single crochet reverse style, and then I'll meet you up when I have my 3rd side done. Alright, so I did want to show you though before I went on to working this side, is I got this whole side done. So you can see here the front of my pillow looks really good so far. So now going down this side, it's going to be a little difficult to see where your stitches need to go. So basically wherever your stitch or where your hook will fit is where you should go. And I would recommend going in every other row. That way it will spread out and look clean, and just like this. We're just working our reverse single crochet. Just make sure you go into both layers, okay, the front and back panel, and make your reverse single crochet, so down the side. So there was nothing special in the corner or anything. We're just working down now this corner and side now, and now I'm just working this side. So I will meet you back up then when I finish, like I said, my 3rd side. Alright, so I got a little overzealous and started a little piece of my fourth side. Whoopsie. So what we need to do is actually make sure that this fits our pillow. And you can insert your pillow, but I am going to, there's a little tag here that I think I want to remove it. It says to read it, so make sure you read your tag. You know, it's got some warnings and stuff on there, so make sure you read that. And if you want to cut it, you can, or just leave it on there. Just don't cut your pillow. Okay, and I'll save that because that's important stuff. And then we're going to remove our hook from there. You want to insert your pillow into your cover. Stretch it all around it. Make sure it fits. Awesome. Oh my goodness, this is so fabulous. Okay, and then you can finish it just having it stuffed. Okay, this part is going to be a little difficult, but you can do it. If you made it this far, there's no turning back. So we're gonna close this side up, just continuing with the reverse single crochet. Okay, and then once you have that all closed up, I'm going to show you how to make the embellishments. When you finish this side here, we're going to finish by doing a a reverse single crochet here, and then we're going to slip stitch to the first single crochet, okay, right over these two loops here, just like that. And then yarn over, pull through, and pull through, just like that. And then we can fasten this part off. So chain one, cut that, pull it through, pull tight. And now we're going to grab our yarn needles right away because I just don't like to deal with, you know, loose ends and whatnot. So what I ended up doing for the white loose ends, I just shoved them inside of the pillow, inside of the pillowcase part, and you can't even see them. So that's what I did with those. And then these ones I'm just sewing in with my yarn needle, just yarning my needle, just like this, and then going underneath the stitches into the red portion, corresponding color. Okay, and just weaving that in, stretch it out, cut any extra, and there it is. So now you can see that the front, actually this is the bottom of my pillow, so this is the top, this is going to be sitting like this, okay? You can decide how you want your pillow to sit on your cushion. You can have it just like this. It's a beautiful cushion, just plain. You will have to shape the corners and really stretch it out and then pull these sides down to keep it nice and clean. Okay, you don't want it too bunched though. So you really have to play around with this because this is quite stretchy this way. You know, you can see how stretchy that is. So you want it to not stretch as much on that part. And then you're going to want to play with your corners here and kind of maneuver your pillow into the corners of your work. Okay, and then decide where's the top, where's the bottom. So this is what my front looks like. And you can see on the back side, if you turn this around, you can see these stitches up here are kind of, you can tell that that's the back of your work because you can see white through these little V's here. Okay, so that's the back of your work. I don't know if you can, there you go. So you see there's white in the middle of these little V's. So if you turn this around, this is the front of your work because you can't see that. It's just nice and clean. So this is the front of my pillow, okay? So this is how it's going to look. So now actually when you're done making this whole piece, attaching the front and the back panels using that reverse single crochet, we're going to set this aside and then we're going to make the embellishments next. Alright, so grab either your green or your holly berry, your evergreen or your holly berry yarn, and I'm going to use, I'm going to make 2 of these pieces in green and then 1 in red, but I'm only going to show you 1 on camera. So this is how we have to do it. We are going to use the eye hook, which is 5.5 millimeters, and we are going to start off with a slip knot. So put your short end over your long end, then fold this down and then pull your long end through and pull tight. Insert your hook. And now we're going to make what's called a foundation single crochet. Okay, so what we're going to do is chain 2, so yarn over, pull through 1 and 2, and then in the second chain from the hook we are going to go in. So this is the first chain from the hook, this is the second chain from the hook, so we're going to go into there. Okay, then we're going to yarn over and pull through, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through one of the loops, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through 2 of the loops. Okay, that is a foundation single crochet, and if you turn it this way you can see that that is a stitch right there. Okay, now what we're going to do to make the second one, so we have to make 48 of these in total. So we're going to make the second one. You're going to look at your work like this, and you can see down here there's this loop right here. Actually, if I turn my work upside down, you can see that it looks like there's 2 loops. It looks like actually like a chain. There's this loop and there's this loop. Okay, we're going to go underneath both of those. Okay, so we're going to go down just like this into there. There we go. So under both of those loops. Okay, then yarn over and pull through that. Okay, just like that. Then yarn over and pull through one of the loops, just one of the loops there, just like that. And then yarn over and pull through 2 of the loops. Okay, that is our second foundation single crochet. And then you can see here that when we pull through one loop, we create this like loop down here, this kind of foundation chain. So instead of chaining and then single crocheting across your chain, you're creating your chain and your single crochet all in one stitch. So we don't have to, we can just skip the chaining part. So go down into this little loop down here, this little, it looks like a stitch almost on the bottom half of your work, because our work top is this part right here. Okay, so yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through 1 loop, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, you can even hold on to that 1 loop that you just pulled through there, this one right here, because that's where we're going to go in next. So go down in there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 1. So there's that 1 loop that we just pulled through. That's our foundation chain, and that's where we're going to work in next. Then yarn over and pull through 2 loops, go down into that loop there and that back loop there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so do that until you have 48 of these stitches. You can see here there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I did 5 here for you. You can see that's the top of our row. You can see the stitches very nicely there. So now I am just going to continue working this until I have 48 of these foundation single crochets. Alright, so now I have 48 of these foundation single crochets. If you want to do more or less, you can. If you want to use a different size hook, you can. Just make sure it's in a multiple of 6 for this part. So now going on to the second row here, we are going to make these puffs. So we need to chain 6. So yarn over, pull through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'm going to turn my work around. Okay, so now we're working on this side here. And in the third chain from that hook, we are going to put a cluster. So the loop on the hook doesn't count. So count 1, 2, and 3. This third chain right here, we're going to yarn over and go into that chain. Then yarn over and pull through. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops, but hold those 2 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over and go back into that same chain, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, but again, hold those 3 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over again and go back in, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So now there's 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 4 of those loops. Okay, and there's our cluster. Then we're going to chain 3, so yarn over and pull through 1, 2, and 3. And again, in that third chain from the hook, we are going to cluster. So the loop on the hook doesn't count. 1, 2, 3, this third chain right here, yarn over, go into that chain, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over, go back into that chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and again, yarn over, go back into that chain, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So now you have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 4 of those loops. And there's another cluster. Now what we're going to do is slip stitch back into the chain that the first cluster stitch was worked in. So we're going to come down into that chain where the first cluster stitch was worked in, and we're going to slip stitch in there. So yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Okay, so now we made kind of like a puff looking ball. Now we need to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Come back down onto your foundation row here, and we're going to skip this first stitch right here, actually the next 5 stitches, which we're going to count this first one where we chained up 6 in. We're going to skip this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the sixth stitch right here after the 5th one is where we're going to slip stitch. So go in, then yarn over and pull through and pull through. Okay, so you can see that is how it looks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip 5, and then slip stitch into the 6th stitch. And then if you see the front of this work, we can see that we made a little puff ball. How cute. So now going on to the next step, we are going to repeat that around, or across here. So chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Cluster stitch into the third chain, 1, 2, 3. So yarn over, go into that third chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Then yarn over and pull through all 4 loops, then chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Cluster in the third chain from the hook right here. Yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through all 4 loops on your hook, then slip stitch into the chain that the first cluster stitch was worked in. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and then chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Skip 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go into the next stitch for a slip stitch. So yarn over, pull through, and through. Okay, and just repeat that across then. So you can see there's another puff stitch, puff ball. Looks cool. So we're just gonna make these little puffs all the way across here, these little jingle jangle things, and then once I am done with this row, I'll show you how to fasten off. We're going to fasten off with a really long tail because we're going to use that for sewing, and then we'll go on to the next step. Alright, just finished my last puff here. We are going to skip the last 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and slip stitch into this first one here. Or if you don't have 5 stitches left, just slip stitch into the very last stitch. Okay, it does not matter if there's 4 or 5 or 6. And we're going to fasten off. So chain 1, cut your yarn very long, and then pull that all the way through that chain 1 there, and then pull tight. So that's fastened off, and this is what your piece should look like. Okay, so now I need you to rewind this and make 2 more of these. You can make as many as you want, really, to fit on your pillow. And I am going to do, I already did a couple off camera here. I'm doing 3 in total. And you can see here I have 1 in the holly berry color. Okay, so I'm going to do green, red, green for my festive look, but you can do any colors you want. You don't even have to have this for the holidays. You can make this for any time of year. So you can use the evergreen, the holly berry, and the evergreen, or you can do, you know, red, green, red, or green, red, green, or whatever you would like. It's totally creator's choice here for the colors, but, and for the amount of these you want to put on your pillow. So I'm doing 3 of these in total, exactly the same, the 48 single foundation single crochets, and then 8 of these puff balls kind of dangling there. And then what we're going to do when you have all 3 of these finished, we are going to sew these onto our pillow. And again, that is creator's choice too, because let me grab my pillow here. You can see here how we're going to sew these on. Let me prop these up here so you can see my pillow. Okay, the way I'm going to prop this on is I am going to do it like this, okay, from side to side, just like this. So we're just going to pin here and then kind of sew across to make it have more of a droopy look. But there are ways, and then I'm going to, you know, obviously put another one here and then another one under there, okay, and they're going to be like even. Obviously, I don't know, that doesn't look too even to me. There we go. So I'm going to do it like that. You could zigzag it if you wanted to. You could go like this, and then like this, and then like this. Okay? And make it, you know, really festive and a zigzag. Or you could do 4 or 5 or make it however you want. Just we're going to sew these on now. So let me start with the top one here. And how we're going to sew this, first of all, we need to get our yarn needle. We're going to yarn our needle, like darn it, we're going to do that, just like that, and then we're going to place this on our piece. If you want to, you know, place it perfectly, you can use sewing pins and kind of just pin it down, and then it will be in place and you can see it all like that. But I am going to just lay it down like that, and then I'm going to sew this on. So we're going to sew it into the side here where we have red, where our seam is. Okay, we're going to sew it into that. Okay, just like that. And then go in to our piece. Okay, so I just went in both layers there. And again, going underneath by the seam of the pillow and then into this layer of this little bunting. I guess it's similar to like a bunting. A mini bunting. Like that. And we're just going to do that. Then I'm going to go into the pillow seam like this, and I'm going to come out way over here. Okay, and now I can go across my piece. So now this side is all secure into the pillow. So now I'm going to go across my piece, but I want to lay it flat on here. It's the shape that I want it to be. Okay, so like this. Maybe I want it to come up higher. And you want it to be even with the other side. Okay, so you can see where I was measuring. I kind of looked at this, where this row is. So this starts at this row here. Okay, so I'm going to go across here, and then that is exactly where I want this side to end, right there. Okay, and then you can kind of dip it down a little bit, just like that. So now it's laying how I want it to go. So now I'm going to go into the bunting and into the layer of pillow covering, and then we're going to go back out. Okay, and we're just going to weave this in and out, not too tight, just sort of loosely, nothing too spectacular. This will stay on. Okay, so we're just going to go in and then out all the way across. And I'm just going to show you how to sew on one of these fully, and then you can sew on as many as you've made on your own. Okay, so I'm just going to show you here, just going in. You know, you can skip a ton of stitches there. Okay, this is just a nice decorative pillow. It's not going to see a whole lot of you know, action. I guess if you're going to have a huge pillow fight, then you might want to sew on these a little bit tighter, but these are just for decoration. So I'm just going to sew them on a little loosely, just like that. Fabulous. Okay, and then you can kind of turn this upside down to see here. Guide it the shape that you want it to be. Make sure it still keeps the where you're going to end. You want to end it on the right spot. Okay, almost done here, and then I can show you how to fasten off. Okay, so when you get to the other side and you want to fasten off here, we're going to first, let me turn this all the way around so you can see here. We're going to first sew this into the side seam. So like we did on the other side, out the seam, just like this. Okay. And then we're going to go into the side of this piece here. Okay. Then we're going to go back into the seam. And then out this piece on the side here. And this is a whip stitch on the side. Okay. Stretch this out, make sure it's not too tight in any spots. Awesome. Then to fasten off, we are going to go underneath some stitches, okay, like this. Put your finger in the loop that you are tightening, okay, like this. Then come back around into that loop, and then remove your finger and pull tight, okay, and that makes a nice knot. And then you can do that, you know, twice or 3 times. Okay, just like that. And then when you are all finished, you need to sew in your ends. Let me get this all figured out here. I'm just going to cut this shorter so you can see here. We are going to weave in our ends. So we're just going to go underneath these stitches. Okay, you can even just sew it into the pillow because, again, nobody's going to see the inside of the pillow. This is closed all up, so we can't access the pillow unless we unraveled our pillowcase. So I'm just sewing it underneath some of these stitches, just like that. And then you can cut any extra you may have, stretch it out. And then the other side has a little straggler here, so we're going to sew that in as well. Okay, so just go underneath some of these stitches and then cut any extra, stretch it out. Oops, just a little tiny piece, there we go. Okay, so that is how this should look. Awesome, that looks so fabulous. So now we're just going to okay, we're gonna sew on the other pieces here. So I'm gonna do the rest of this off camera, but I'll just show you where I'm going to put them. One's gonna go right about here, and then the other one is gonna go underneath that, right about here. Okay, so they're going to be kind of in the middle there, like that. Awesome, that looks so fabulous. So I'm going to sew these 2 on off camera, and then I will meet you up when they're all sewn on together. Alright, so there it is. I just sewed on these 2 pieces, and you can see how lovely it turned out. I am so happy with the product. So thank you so much for watching and learning how to make this beautiful pillow on the Fringe cushion. Make sure to share your photos on the Facebook and Instagram. I can't wait to see your photos. I wish you the best holiday. Happy holidays, everyone. Enjoy making your pillows, and yeah, hashtag YARNutopia if you share it on Facebook and Instagram. I'm just gonna have so much fun with this cushion. It's so fabulous. I just say one last thing, a big thank you to my dad for filming this for all of us so that I can share my creations with you and you can enjoy learning how to make such wonderful items in crochet. So thanks so much. So I will see you next time. Happy hooking!